Hey writers, today's question comes from Carol Baldwin and she asks, what should I charge for school visits, library, or community events? So there's no set dollar amount for this, unfortunately, and your rates are going to depend on a couple of factors. First, you want to decide what your time is worth. A 45-minute workshop is going to require a lot more than 45 minutes of work. You have to do the research, you have to put it all together, you have to practice it to get it ready. There's travel time to and from the event. So how much do you feel is fair compensation? Then you want to see what the going rate is so you can determine if your ask is reasonable. Talk to other authors in your space and see what they charge. Sometimes you can get this information right off of their website. I say authors in your space because authors who have been doing it longer, who may be a little more established and more well-known, they can charge more. So you want to find authors who are somewhere in your ballpark. And then you'll know if you need to adjust your ask to fit what's expected. One specific thing that you can do that can often be helpful is to ask the organization what their budget is. This is going to give you an idea of if the two of you are close enough to be able to work something out. If their honorarium is too low, see if there are other things you can do to boost profits. Will you be able to sell books at your event? Can you hand out promotional swag? If it's a school event, because the parents are the buyers, can you send home a flyer that contains purchase information? If there are other aspects to the speaking engagement that could result in additional revenue, then a below average honorarium might not be a problem. Lastly, take into account any specific circumstances that might make you a little more willing to forego payment. For instance, if it's an event that has the potential for high visibility and customer acquisition, you might not make much money at the event itself, but you are gaining visibility, you're gaining new followers, and you're hoping that down the road that's going to translate into book sales. If the event has sentimental value, if somebody asks you to speak at your kid's school, you might be willing to do that regardless of what the price is. If it's a charity event that you really want to raise money for, if you're just starting out and you're trying to build your resume as a speaker. Angela and I have established rates for our speaking engagements, but there are situations where we've spoken for less or for free because there were other aspects to the event that made it worth our while. So you want to think about what those might be and take them into consideration. One last tip, once you've figured out what you want to charge, create a brochure that contains your rates and information on the topics you can present. This is going to add to your professionalism and establish you as someone with experience who knows what they're doing and is probably worth what they're asking for. I hope this helps. Keep the great questions coming.